So it's called a squeeze box card because it's like this idea of a front and a back, but they're not connected. And then you have a little bit in the middle just to decorate. And so I was also looking at what papers I had in my paper stash. I bought some papers and little postcard things from Hobbycraft whenever you used to go into Hobbycraft. So you got like these little postcard things, and then you got the papers, and it's a Christmas card, which is outrageous, I know. But it is September, so I suppose everybody's going to start making them now. So, and this is just, it's very subtle papers. It's very pale. And then inside, I've just done a little scene with a deer and Merry Christmas. And absolutely no stamping on this whatsoever. So very, very plain. So then the one I'm going to make now is going to be a lot more jazzed up, I think. Because I've got to make a card for Janet for her birthday, and she loves purple. So I think I've got all my purpley bits out. So I think I'm just going to do this in purples. So you basically have, and I've got everything cut out separately to show you. So you've got the connecting bit, which is this middle piece here, which is basically a piece of card that is 4 inches by 11. And then you're going to score that at 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4. And I will go through all this. I'll be making one from scratch, but it's just if you want to start cutting stuff out. And then the back of the card is basically like half of a C6 card. It's just 4 inches by 5 3/4. So that's the back piece. And then the front is actually made up of a spine and a piece of pattern paper. And I've just used a bit of thick, well, it is pattern paper, but it's just plain. And the spine is 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. And the piece of paper is 3 inches by 5 3/4. So you'll notice that all of the actual card bits itself are all by 5 3/4. So the back piece is by 5 3/4, and the front is obviously 5 3/4, which is just like, as I say, a standard C6 card, but it's just been chopped in half. Okay, and I've just trimmed it to 4 because you know I always like nice round numbers. So what will happen is we will have our card back, and then we will create our front using the pattern paper and the spine, and we'll just create a card front that's the same size as the card back. And it'll just be this decorated piece. So you'll have a white piece showing and the paper, just like on mine. You'll have the white spine, and then you've got this pattern paper, and then you just build up from there, gluing in this connecting piece and decorating it. So that's kind of the plan. And it's called a squeeze box card because it's kind of like one of the old musical squeeze boxes. So that's the plan. So there are basically 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to this actual card base. Okay, so that's 4 bits that we're going to need to create the card. So I think I asked you to bring a piece of A4 because basically we're going to get everything out of one sheet of A4 to create what we need, and then we'll have pattern paper to decorate. So I'm going to keep those measurements up. I think they're quite big and hopefully clear for you to see. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to start with, I'll grab a coloured piece of card. It's linen card, but I'm just going to roll with it because I'm going to layer it up. So I'm not going to be too worried about it. So I'm going to cut this to 4, and then by 11. And then I'm going to score it. All right, I'll just bring that bit of paper back out for you. So I'm going to score it at 2 3/4. And then at 5.5. Oops, 5.5, and then 8.25. So that should be 4 even panels, okay, that you should be able to see on that. And if you have a look, we're going to valley fold, then mountain fold, then valley fold to create a concertina shape. Okay, and the mountain is going to go in the middle, and that's going to be it will be pointing upwards. So when we glue this onto our card bases, the peak is going to be coming towards you, just so you know. So it's not going away from you. The mountain is raised up towards you. So just to give you that. So I'll actually just set that aside like that so that we know that's the way it's going to go. So then I am going to create my card base. So I can just cut this piece of card that I have already. So I'm just going to trim it down so that it is just 4 inches wide. And then I'm going to cut it to 5 3/4. So that's the back of my card now. Okay, so that's the back. And then the front, I'm going to trim this last piece that I've got left. I'll trim that to 1 3/4. I just need a 1 3/4 strip off that, and that's all we're left with, which I'll probably use for layering up in a bit, so I'll leave that to one side. So I have got some very purpley pattern paper. I've got some different ones out. I will have a think about what I'm going to do, because actually to start with I do need a double-sided. I don't know if this one's double-sided. Let me just check. I have bought loads of purple. I've bought loads of purple paper out with me because Janet's favorite color is purple. So, and I always make a purple card. So because she always picks the purple. Oh, there's a nice purple there, and that's double-sided. So I just have to go with that. So let me just pop that down for a minute. See what other purples are in here. This is just a works pad that I had. I'm just going to have a quick look and see what other purples there are. It's not the only purple. Okay, I'll have a wee think and see, because it might be a bit big, but let's just have a look. If I cut that side there 3 inches, and then cut this little bit to 5 3/4. Let's just see how that looks. If not, that was fine. Have I not cut that to 5 3/4? Oh no, I didn't. Oh, I thought for a minute I made a mistake. So yeah, so that's actually quite pretty, that one. So I think I could work with that. So I've got my concertina piece, I've got my little strip and my paper, and I've got my card back. So I'm all ready now to look at assembling the base card, and then it's absolutely fine to decorate once it's assembled, because it's, you know, you can work on it all flat, because if you see this one, it just opens all flat out, so there's no issues about decorating it once you've put it together. So I'm going to show you how you can put this paper and spine together so that it's the same size as your back of your card, and so that you get it to the exact size, because your back and your front are going to be exactly the same size. So what I did was I just got my scoreboard, and I popped my scoreboard down in front of me, and I popped my back of the card in, and then I just lined up. So if you've just got a grid, or you know, you could use your grid paper. So I just found this the easiest way, because I've got something to butt up against. But you could, if you wanted, get a ruler and just have your ruler, or even, yeah, I'd say have your ruler down. So something that you can butt up against. And then I can pop that there and just make sure your ruler is straight. So you just need a straight edge. And then you can bring in your spine and butt that up against the ruler as well, making sure that it's still straight. And then all I'm going to do is get my new glue. I've bought some Nuvo glue at the show, and I have to say it hasn't blocked once that I've used it. I've been using it all day yesterday and all day today, and it has not blocked up once, which is amazing, because I usually get stuck and have to spend ages faffing with pins and things to get the glue on blocked, but this has just been perfect. So I'm going to put a little dab down on the edge there, just so that I know I'm going to get a nice closed edge then whenever I layer this. And then I'm going to put a nice blob on my paper to the edge as well. So that means I'm going to get a nice seal down that edge and down that edge. And I'll just come in then and just see how much more. That's actually going to be quite good in terms of how much I've put down there. It's about right. So then I'm just going to put it up against the base of my card there. Oh, that just moved. And then I'm going to line it up so that it matches the width of that. Okay, so we're just matching it, and you can just bring it over the top and just make sure you've got all your edges nice, and because I've used black glue I can actually shimmy it around. So there they are, absolutely perfectly lined up. Okay, and I've got a pattern on the back there, pattern on the front. Okay, so that is my card front, my card base, and my card middle. Okay, so now I'm going to just turn this over. Right, so our little concertina piece, if you make sure that when you close it up, the mountain is facing towards you, so that this ridge is facing upwards, and close it, what we're going to do is we're going to have it so that it is right on the bottom edge of the card, but centered in this space. Okay, so you are going to have the same amount of card on this side as you are on this side. I know it's paper on this side, but the same amount of card base basically. Okay, so what we need to do is just cover. So I've turned it over and I'm going to cover this bit in glue. Okay, and then so turn it back again. So just to let you know that the sorry, it's that way, isn't it? The mountain is facing me and the glue's on the back. And so I'm going to just close it all down in the concertina and then center it just at the top and the sides, and the bottom is right on that bottom edge. And I will just make sure that's all nicely set. Oops, look, I've got some wiggle room. I'm a little bit out there. That's it. And then that is that part of the card done. So we've got that nicely stuck in. And then if you just close it and put your glue on the back now of the concertina piece. Okay. And then I'm going to take my other second piece of card, and I am going to actually just come down just to that edge there. I'll just do a little edge there, just so it's, and I'm going to just line this up so that I cannot see the card back there. I can't see that other base card. So I know that I've got it all nicely covered, and it's going to be perfectly positioned because I can see that I've covered that base. And then you have got your card. Okay, so that's your card front. You open it up, you've got this lovely pop-up in the middle, and you've got your base at the back. And then we decorate all of these. Little concertina flap is the bit that all gets decorated. So we're going to put some little strips down, and we can put some white card in for writing our message. And then we can decorate our two middle panels, and I will probably just balance it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some, I think I don't know whether I'm going to put the pattern paper in and then put the white card, or whether I'm going to do the white card and then a pattern paper. So I'm just going to cut the pattern paper and cut the white card, and then have a play basically and see what looks nice, is what I'm thinking. So you need a little, this basically, this little concertina piece is 4 inches in height. So all of our, the pattern paper that we're going to cut now, it's 2 strips, and it is, I think it's 1 inch. Yeah, it's 1 inch by 4 basically. So just put the lid on my glue there, and then I'll cut that. So I need a strip that's 1 inch, and I don't know, I think I'm probably going to, no, I'll probably just cut into this. Let's just see where I can get a nice purpley bit. So I think if I cut it before down the bottom here, so cut it to 4 there. And then I can get, I'll just trim a little bit off that, just a little bit off that. And then I'll cut 2 1 inch strips. So 1 inch, because I've got a nice butterfly on that one. A 1 inch there, and a 1 inch there. So before I stick these in, I'm just going to check if I want to put my white layer under, and then trim these down a bit. I don't know yet, so I'm going to just cut out my white pieces and then decide basically, because I did it on a white card base the last time, and so this is a little bit different. So I just need to kind of look to see what the layers look like, because obviously on the white card it was fine, but I haven't done a colored card base. I just want to see how I want to layer it up. So I'm going to cut the 2 3/4, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it was 2 3/4 wide, wasn't it? Yeah. So I need a piece of card that is 2.5 by 3 3/4. And that's going to be a layer in here. So I'm going to do the same again. So 2.5 by 3 3/4. And that's going to go in there. So I think I probably will glue the white and then just trim the purple and pop the purple in on the white like that and like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, and I might just trim them down a little bit. But if you were doing it on white card, you could keep those layers the same. They could still be 1 inch, but I think because, as I say, I've used a colored card base, I'm just changing it up ever so slightly. So I've got 2 pieces of white card that I'm going to pop in. So they are 2.5 by 3 3/4.
Pauline, are they pieces to write on? Like if you want to put a message in?
I think this furthest one, I mean, you could write on both of them, but probably the furthest to the right, I would possibly say, but you can write on either of them because I'll show you the other one. You could have a little message there and there, you know, so you could say to and from, or you could just have your whole message on this side. But I'm going to slim my paper down so that it leaves a slightly bigger area on this little end piece to write. Actually, if I'd have thought about it, I could actually do a little one on the bottom so you can write your message there. Might do that. That might be nicer, actually. Have the paper on the bottom, and then you can have a lot, you know, your space to write a message. So I'm going to decorate the two middle panels. And I don't know, I might still layer them with white. I'm going to decide what I'm doing. It's as a card as I go. Because you could actually stamp a message. You know, you could have a greeting stamped in, like I've done on this one. I've just stuck and cut out a greeting, but you could actually stamp this area. So I think I'm going to layer all of the panels with white card, so that I can then build up with either pattern paper or stamping. So I'm going to have 4 white pieces that are 2.5 by 3 3/4. And I'll just fill these all up with white panels. And then that gives me flexibility on what I can do next. So I just think that's probably, and it's balanced as well. The things that you don't foresee whenever you choose to do a coloured one, because obviously my other one was all white with 2.5. So I hadn't come up against this little conundrum. But yes, this is where you would write your message on one of these panels. So I'm going to just glue that. And then, so I've got my panels now, and then I'll just have to trim these a little bit because obviously they now need to be the same height as this layer, which was 3 3/4. So I'm just going to trim my lovely pattern paper to 3 3/4. But if you are doing it on a white card, you would just leave them at the 4 inches, and that's the same height as the actual card. So, but I'm just gonna pop it in there, and actually I think I'm gonna just leave them the length that they are. I mean the width. I'm just gonna leave them the width that they are, because I think you could write your twos on this side and your froms on this side, where you could just have your little message there. So I'm just going to go with that. So I have got a large, oh, I think that goes that way, doesn't it? With a butterfly at the top, I think. Try that. Oh no, that way. No. Oh, it's that way. Sorry, I just saw the writing on the back. So that's my pattern paper. And then, excuse me, I am going to get I've got a large happy birthday stamp. So let me just get that. I'll just see if this fits. This is a nice, I don't know, I should have stamped that before. Let's just try it on a piece of card. Should have done that before we stuck it in, really, shouldn't we? If I wasn't going to be using it. I might have to go, I might have to choose a different stamp, just so that I don't mess it up. Let me just see if this is going to be, this is one I'm using on Friday. Let's just see if this one, let's put, sorry, I'm rustling away. Would that fit? Yes. So I shall do that one instead, because I know that it's going to fit and I'm not going to make any oopsies. So just grab my ink. Just stamp it up with the right. So I'm just going to go for this. And then try not to touch it after I've done it. So got that. And then I think I'm going to just do a little florally bit there, I think. Let me just see what I've got. Because there's a hydrangea here, and I think I could just cut some of it out and just have a little bit of a floral floral thing going on. So let me just see what I can do. I shall see what I can make of it. So I'm just gonna chop some of the hydrangea out, so I'm catching the camera. Apologies. So I'm just going to cut out some little flowers, I think, and then I'll decorate. Oh, just jump around that for a second. Right, so I'm just gonna touch on it, so like that, and then keep that one in there. Pop that. Oops, didn't mean to chop his leg off. I'll work with that. We'll work with that. It was a little bit of an oopsie moment. I'm going to just shape that a little bit. And I'll just shape the edge to give it a bit of a curl, and I'll only stick that just at the end of it so that it can give a little bit of dimension there. And then I'm actually going to cut this. Actually, let me just see. I'm just going to cut that out, I think, and layer it. I might regret this, but what's the worst? It's only card and paper. I always say. So I'm going to just build up, going to shape these, just given dimensions. It's all, I always say, it's nature. It doesn't have to look perfect. So put that there. I'm just going to hide that curve. So if I go that way or that way, just to kind of hide that little sort of bend. That's it. I'll go that way. And then I'm going to layer. This one's my broken one. I could actually layer that underneath that one. Just coming up a little bit. And then this little one can go in the middle of that one. Oops, Daisy. Just going to pop that one in the middle of that one. So it's layered up. Now let's see if I've got my diamonds that I can pop a little diamond on there. So I shall pop a little diamond just in the center of the hydrangea there. So I'll just grab a little diamond, just pop it there. And then I'm going to just pop some little diamonds around, like so. So we've got some depth to the hydrangea there, and it's built up. So, oh yeah, and I've got my little dragonfly, so I could always just pop him on there, just flying away. Stick him there. Just heading off into the sunset. Stick a little blob there. And he can be disappearing. I just need to be careful because that fold. Chop his wings off. Should have really shaped him, shouldn't I? Just shape him. There we are. So on my card front, I am going to put a little sentiment, I think. So I'll just put a little happy birthday sentiment, and then you open up and you've got this lovely ta-da. So and you can keep this quite slim to, you know, go as a normal, if you don't go too mad in terms of your layers. Obviously I'm giving it to Janet and I've layered this really, this is very decoupaged up my flower, and I'm going to go mad and add some bit of Wink of Stella to my lovely flower to make it all sparkle. Just add a little bit of sparkly. And I could also obviously add a little bit of sparkle to my dragonfly as well. So I'll try nice and sparkly. Shape that a little bit up. I probably didn't shape that, did I? Should have. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just bring that up a little bit. Just to give it some dimension. There we are. Perfect. So that is a squeeze box card. I can't close it now because I've just put all that stuff on. But let me just see, because I might already have a happy birthday stamped out actually. That's really nice font, that one. I do like the font of that. There's all the little blocks that I haven't added. Perfect. Hopefully don't have to go scrummaging around too much for looking for things. Right, let's just see what this would look like. Just because I think the front's really pretty, so I don't really want to put too much on it. That's really nice. So I'm not going to touch that for at least half an hour because I know what will happen. That's stamped beautifully, and then I'll come along with my big size 9 fingers, never mind toes, and then I'll just layer that up. Let's just get that stuck down on the purple card. Actually, I'll do it that way, then it's going to be better, isn't it? So just choose what sentiment you'd like, and then we will layer up. That's lovely. Very pretty. I just think that probably matches the kind of sentiment inside better, and I think I might just do that kind of in the middle there. That side. No, maybe on that bit where it is a bit not purple. Could do that. So I was thinking, oh, there's a little butterfly there, so maybe down here, so you can still see the butterfly. You could use pattern paper, you know, with that middle bit. So if you were wanting to use up pattern paper, I think you could very easily make the middle concertina with pattern paper, and then it would be showing off, you know, lovely papers both sides, you'd see. So I just thought of that. And actually looking at it, maybe I would maybe decorate that inside panel as well of the back, just to kind of balance with this side. You might want to put a strip down just to balance it. But they're just things that obviously you think of once you've made it, as always. I'll pop a little gem there. And then I will pop a gem in the center of the flower there. And a gem in the center of the flower. Oh, that's two there, and then that's three. That's perfect. So yeah, so there we are. We've got lovely purple, and then ta-da! With our little hydrangea layered up inside with the dragonfly just popping out. So yeah, and as I say, you can write a little message there and there on it, so you've got space for writing. Yeah, so that's my squeeze box card.